Now, with Battle for Dream Island having much more scales recently, scaling it to outer, I thought, what would be a cool debate I could do with it? And then I thought, Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball has pretty much the same scaling of being complex multi to outer versal, so who would win between every Battle for Dream Island character and every Dragon Ball character? Let's find out. Before we start this debate, I just want to set some ground rules. The characters I will be including will be the following, and not but limited to the Z fighters, every main antagonist, Beerus, all the gods of destruction, all the angels, Zeno, and Zeno's attendants for Dragon Ball. And for BFDI, it'll be every contestant, every teapot-filled debuter, profiley purple face, uh, thing. The Algebraians, the speaker boxes, Evil Leafy, and 2763. I will include Carrie at the end of this, but he won't be here for most of the debate. Now, to stop this from being a debate where everyone's arguing on no, this verse would scale here, this verse would scale here, I'm going to be making two separate matchups in this video. One where each are at their complex multiversal scale, and one where each are at their outer scale. This is just so I don't get like anyone just arguing, getting angry at each other. I don't want any hate in my comments. So starting off with Dragon Ball's outer versal scale, the way that it goes is that the macrocosm, in which includes Universe 7, is structured in a way where it has realms that transcend time, space, and dimensions, which would create it as an outer versal realm. In Battle of Gods, Super Saiyan God Goku clashing with Beerus is able to rupture this realm, so many people use this to argue that Goku would be outer versal because he shakes an outer versal realm. Continuing on from this, in the next movie that we see Goku in, he achieves a power level 50 times that of his already instated outer versal level. So, Dragon Ball basically has an outer versal clash, which thing gets 50 times multipliers on top of said form, and then we have every villain just power clipping on top of that. And for Battle for Dream Island, the outerversal argument here is that in Teapot 4, Teardrop is sent to the real world, and this would give the verse reality over fiction transcendence, which in most cases people scale to outerversal. It's much simpler than Dragon Ball's argument, as here it's just everyone would scale to Teardrop because, you know, they scale to Teardrop. And, thing, no power cliffing really happens after this other than the Algebraians. So let's get into the first matchup of them both being complex multiversal. Now, in Dragon Ball, if you're stronger than someone else, you can negate their hack's abilities. This wouldn't do much with BFDI because most of their strength are just strength. So, we could argue that characters who are weaker than a Battle for Humanity character would probably get wiped pretty easily. Characters like Perfect Cell, Kid Buu, Z Broly are not doing anything once they reach Black Hole, who is universal at bare minimum. Alongside the fact that most Dragon Ball characters are more accurately scaled to low complex multiversal rather than complex multiversal, we can safely say that BFDI would take this matchup quick and I'd say pretty obviously. Now, moving on to having both outerversal arguments, I feel like it would be a much closer matchup. As for Dragon Ball, the outerversal argument happens at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super. So, then once you get that, you basically have every character who's appeared after that also being outerversal. And there are many more Dragon Ball characters than there are BFDI characters, because of course you have the Z fighters, all the villains, all the characters in the other universes, right? And of course, I have a feeling that a lot of the BFDI characters would just get killed instantly with Zeno's universal erasure. But in the end, I feel it would end up with something like Zeno and 1 at the end of it, maybe with 2763 if that counts. And yeah, going on, let's talk about which characters actually have the biggest chances of being important here. Now, starting off with Dragon Ball's side, I feel like their best bets would probably be Goku, Vegeta, the Gods of Destruction, the Angels, and of course Zeno. But we're gonna focus on Goku and Vegeta because they're probably gonna be fighting the most contestants at once. Goku has MUI, meaning he can probably just dodge anything that the contestants throw at him, and Vegeta has Ultra Ego, which, if you don't know, the more he gets hit, the stronger he gets. It's basically like a Zenkai boost, except he doesn't need to almost die. It's very powerful, both forms. And then, of course, you have Beerus, who has Existence Erasure and can erase people with Toon Force. Now, moving on to BFDI and its characters, their best bet would most likely be 1, if not 2763 or X. In this scenario, one could just trap any characters they want to in their room, and with no way outside of a pocket dimension, I doubt any of the Z fighters, other than maybe Goku Vegeta, would be able to get out. This isn't something like the Time Chamber, this is its own realm connected to other realms. So, if one were to say take Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha to their room and just erase them after making deals, that'd be some pretty easy kills. Not to mention, one also has insane power, and according to the Versus Battles wiki, infinite speed. Yeah, infinite speed. That means no matter how far you go, one will be able to reach there. But there is one issue with one having quote unquote infinite speed, and we'll get into that character right now. Now, this is the character who I will glaze until I die. Infinite Zamasu is omnipresent, so it's going to be very hard to deal with him because the only one that can deal with him is Zeno by erasing the entire universe. But we've already stated that in Teapot 15, one's able to affect the entire universe, and in Teapot 19, one is able to erase people. So, if one is aware of Infinite Zamasu, that would mean that they'd be able to erase them. If one is not aware of Infinite Zamasu, then he sweeps the entire verse. Now, one little nitpick about Infinite Zamasu, funnily enough, is the fact that BFDI technically also has an omnipresent character, but this is based off of a statement by Carey. Statements aren't as justifiable as feats, but basically, I don't remember how, but my commenter, who wants to be referred to as V, said that Nonexisty was stated to be infinite in size, meaning he would be omnipresent in an infinitely sized universe. So, in the end of this, who wins? In my opinion, Dragon Ball would still be on top, with Infinite Zamasu being able to take out nearly everyone in the cast, and then characters like the Angels and Zeno likely upscaling him. I feel it's very easy. Not to mention the fact that most of the cast can't even fight. For example, Bubble can't fight, Ice Cube can't fight, Robotty could fight, but also would probably just be camping at his waterfall, and many other situations. If you want to comment something like Book and Pillow affected reality, very cool, Beerus can still erase them. The main issue with BFDI is that most of the characters here would get speed blitzed by Dragon Ball characters such as Goku or Beerus. Because in this situation, it's Avengers Endgame, everyone's fighting at once. But now let's get into Carrie Huang and see how that would affect this debate. Carrie Huang is obviously one of the two creators of BFDI, but has made multiple appearances in the show as this yellow stickman. In BFDIA 12, when Flower says who the pesticide is Carrie, it seems that the universe itself causes the bugs, Flower's one, fear, to start chasing her. Which means it's very likely that Carrie Huang is, the universe, or in some way a god. Transcending an outerversal verse and being the verse and the creator of the verse would make Carrie boundless, unironically. Meaning, no matter how much Dragon Ball scales to outerversal or even high outer, Carrie Huang would still technically win. Because if BFDI is outer, that makes him boundless. If it's complex multi, he's probably a tier above. Doesn't matter how Dragon Ball fights. If you want to add Zeno, because you can't erase someone who's beyond the universe if you can only erase a universe. So, in conclusion, who wins? It's Dragon Ball if you want to count only canon characters, but if you want to include non-canon characters, BFDI easily wins due to Carrie Huang technically existing in BFDI. It's unsure if he's canon or not, but it's very likely he's not because he's God and stuff. And it's more likely that the yellow stick figure is supposed to be their own character. Now, for a little bonus section, I want to say which characters would actually be the most important to each side. So I'm gonna list those right now. For Dragon Ball side, it's obviously going to be characters like Zeno, Infinite Zamasu, and Beerus, and basically all the gods of destruction who have the power to just erase you. The angels who can't be hit unless, they put you in a chokehold and you bite them, but that's the only time we've ever seen an angel get hit. And for BFDI, obviously their best bets are gonna be one with their deals, two with their powers, Pencil with their strategies, Roboti with the waterfall. They could literally just keep someone there and just stall out until everyone else is gone. Robot Flower because of their extreme speed. One again because of their extreme speed, unironically. And just Black Hole. He's a black hole. I don't think I need to say anything else. He's literally a black hole. Anyways, now that I'm done with this video, I did not expect it to be this long. I actually thought it was going to be around 5 minutes. Comment down characters for whatever you want to see in my future tournaments, and tell me other video ideas you may want. I'm planning on saying what would happen if a BFDI Battle Royale happened, but I'm stealing that idea from someone else anyways. So give me other ideas if you have any, and I'll see if I can try making those videos. Alright, bye.